Barbershop FC right here, Soccer for Dummies, man. We've got Tosin in the building here, man.
Yo, good.
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I got a couple of things I want to say before we start. Bang,
Good.
that's egregious. I'm calling yourself a two-way player is crazy. Orlando is right. Whatever Orlando said, he is right. That is egregious as hell.
Very crazy.
Second of all, I have to apologize to, first of all, Indiana Pacers and their fans, because I definitely thought they were going to get swept. And I have to just say, hey, man, I was wrong as shit. And I'm so sorry to y'all because they actually might win.
They actually right, exactly. We spent the first 20 minutes apologizing for Pacers. Pacers fans were mad as hell in my TikTok comments, man.
Yeah.
I stole some of your background swag because I was looking in the back. I was like, I need to stop. I had a calendar right here. I was like, I don't need to be seeing my calendar and stuff like that on my calendar. Let me throw my Arsenal jersey up on here, man. But always good to have you on here, G, man. I was telling people, so I've got the Scott Lewis show debuting on my YouTube. And this man is going to be my first guest. We're going to be talking about transfer windows, how it compares to other free agency and stuff. Because as a new fan, I've been kind of irritated with this. I'm not going to lie. So we're going to get to a breakdown about everything transfer window. Look out for that by the end of this week at Barbershop Scott on YouTube. I'm going to put the link to my YouTube channel in the description box for those of you who aren't watching the live stream, man. But let's get into it, man. We got a nice amount of topics to talk about. I want to start with the Club World Cup, which kicks off tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first time that we've seen it in this new format. FIFA is trying to go all in with how they're promoting this. There's going to be a lot of prize money. But it's kind of like a two-part question, man, because one, the care level. Like I know they've been having problems selling tickets. You can see Lionel Messi, arguably the best soccer player of all time, for a whopping $4 at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida. So they've been having problems with that. And on top of that, we all know the non-sports stuff we've been seeing in the media the last week or two. ICE is going to be there, which is, to me, that's a precursor for how the actual World Cup is going to look next year. Tosin, what's your thoughts on, one, the competition, getting people to care, and the dangers that the people who actually care trying to come to these matches are going to deal with?
First and foremost, I actually have an article I'm trying to write before the start of the tournament tomorrow. As somebody who's an actual, and you know this about me, I watch too much soccer. Like, you know this, like I watch too much. Even for me, this is OD. Like this is an aggressive amount of football that I've seen in my life. Like, we are seeing players who 2 weeks ago in the Champions League final, then a week later they were in the Nations Cup final, and then now they're in this. It's like, yo, I understand they make a lot of money, but their body has to be tired, bro. You can't, like, you're traveling from Munich back to Paris, from Paris to Germany, from Germany back to Paris, and now you're in LA. It's like, yo, this is a lot of travel. It's a lot on the players' bodies. So that's the first thing. So I don't even think
training camp kicking off next month.
Bro, yeah, and it's like, yo, the wild thing is just like these players will finish this tournament mid-July, maybe get 2 weeks, and then they're back to regular season. It's like, yo, this is an absurd amount of football. That's my that's my thought on the tournament. I'm still gonna watch it because I'm a sicko, so I'm gonna watch any sort of football. Like, I was watching Spanish second division yesterday because I have issues. Okay, that's my problem with football. I have too many issues. I'm like, yo, if I'm gonna watch U21.
I watched the LAFC World Club Cup qualifier game like 2 weeks ago.
You get it, and I was just watching. I'm probably going to throw in the U21 Euro soon because I like the English team. So just real sicko behavior. But as far as ICE goes and like immigration, all that stuff, like, hey man, listen, I'm not speaking without my lawyer present. That's all I'm going to say because I refuse to comment on what I want to say. But I would say is this: is that we live in some very, very wicked times, and it does scare some people away. Like a lot of people thought that, it's going to be a normal thing to come over here. But now you're looking over your shoulder where, like, do I have to carry my passport with me? Do I have to carry this with me? And it's just like, when we had the Qatar World Cup, we were talking about the issues, and Qatar went smooth. Russia went smooth. And it's like USA World Cup now is like the most treacherous one, even after we had Russia and Qatar. And it's just like, yo, what are we doing here, man? Like, and I genuinely wish this World Cup wasn't this contentious and this Club World Cup wasn't contentious, because 94 World Cup is still one of the most is one of the standard bearers of World Cups, like the way it was ran, the organization, like even just the attention, everything was that. Now we're looking at 2026, and we're just like, yo, I don't know, so it's real contentious. That's all I gotta say. It's real contentious, and just be on your P's and Q's, whoever is coming over from overseas. Just be on your P's and Q's.
And even with the 94 World Cup, I was actually watching, so I'm kind of like doing a 30 for 30 rewatch right now. I'm watching some of the best 30 for 30s, and I was rewatching June 17th, 1994, which I'm not the biggest fan of documentaries that don't have like interviews or narration, but this one is incredible because everything in sports that was happening that day. It was the O.J. Simpson chase, the New York Rangers championship parade, Game 5 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Rockets, Arnold Palmer's last major, and then you had the World Cup kickoff at Soldier Field in Chicago. So that kind of reminded me of that and how everything was going on. And, like you said, there's only certain things you can say. I said this on my Twitter page a couple days ago, and topics like this are going to be stuff that I'm going to talk a lot more on the Scott Lewis Show. We'll be doing a lot of cheap promo on here for that. But to me, I look at it as you're going to have people who are coming in, not even really Club World Cup, I think it'd be a little issue, but I'm kind of petrified of what it's going to look like for the actual World Cup. Because, these are just intro games and things like that, qualifying games and stuff like that. You got the semifinals and the actual World Cup final. It's going to be at MetLife Stadium next year. And that's what I'm worried about for that. For people who are just trying to support their teams. In the World Cup, even before I watch this sport, I know that's like 10 Super Bowls in one. Just how many people watch it. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I will be a little concerned about. And I just hope people stay safe when they go see these games, man. But
and it's expanded too. There's 48 teams in 3 different countries, and it's just like, yo, there's gonna be a lot of teams who might not be on the, who might be on a travel ban list. You got Uzbekistan coming, and you got all these random countries that you might not know if their people are good to come over. You got all these people excited because this is the World Cup. We say like, oh, NBA champions are world champions. Like, I get that, but at the same time, this is legit the whole entire world coming to the North America, coming to Mexico, coming to America, coming to Canada, so yes, it's sticky, man. It's very, very sticky.
And it's also sticky because the head of FIFA, he's part of the problem, in my opinion. Like he's one of the people who say, "Oh, I have no problem ice showing them like this." I think he thinks because he's not the former FIFA guy that he's like clean, which is hilarious as well. Like so, but let's talk about the ops. Tottenham, they hired a new coach. Looks like there was no season 3 for Ange. I don't know how to pronounce my man last name.
Postecoglou. Yeah,
Postecoglou. Yeah. So they are hiring Thomas Frank, which is funny because it's the backwards name of one of my favorite baseball players ever, Frank Thomas. But he will be the new head coach of Tottenham. And there's been rumors today. Fabrizio tweeted it out. I think Ornstein might have tweeted out too. They're trying to hijack Man United, and they're trying to do that too as well. So I feel like it's been a real eventful day for Spurs today. Tell me what you think about this hire, and then them trying to add some bigger type players to build off that, to not build off, but have a better campaign than the worst campaign they had this year.
First of all, shout out to Frank Thomas and his Nugenics commercials. Them just has me in tears every single time.
Big shout out to the Big Hurt.
Yo, the Nugenics commercials that he does are the funniest things in the world. I'm like, yo, Frank, what are you doing, man? But I love the Thomas Frank hire. I never thought that Andrew's going to stay. I think that Tottenham finished 17th, lost 22 games. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. Like, you gotta go. Trophy or not, that's a nasty, nasty word. So you have to go. I love Thomas Frank. One of the best coaches in the league. Has been for a while. Shout out to his assistant, Justin Coltrane. He was at Man United for a little bit, was with the English national team. Black dude. I thought he was going to get the job at Brentford. So I'm really happy to see him get promoted and him get a new job. So that's really nice for him. I like the move, though. I think Tottenham are like being smart. I think Thomas Frank will get the best out of them. They got a really good squad over there. So he's got to have a few tweaks. As far as Mbuemo goes, I'm trying to hijack that. That ain't going to happen, man. Like, and if it does, then hey, oh well. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Man United right now are targeting players who actually want to come to Manchester United. Like, if you look at Mateus Cunha, he's a United fan growing up, and Mbuemo was a United fan growing up. So there's still a little bit of that we were Man United juice that we're trying to get the last squeeze out of it, because these newer generation of kids, They don't know Man United. They all know Man United for being terrible. We're getting the last generation of players who saw a good Man United. So I think Mbuemo's going to join United, and then we'll see what happens with the rest.
Yeah, from what I've been told about Thomas Frank, that it should be a very entertaining and very exciting North London derby next year. Which I'm looking forward to that because I haven't been able to see any of them yet. So I'm waiting for the Tottenham hate to fully take over my body like Venom on Spider-Man. So yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Let's go into a little bit of like the transfer stuff. So Victor Gyökeres and Benjamin Sesko. Both of these things have been linked. Both of these strikers have been linked to Arsenal. Gyökeres has been linked to Man United. These last 10 days, it's been a little louder on that. See, the problem here, so it's not even, I feel like there's a holdup right now because there's a lot of people who thought that the Sesko signing would be done right now. And you're seeing rumors that, Arsenal is interested in Gyökeres again. And even though this is my first transfer window, I've been in the sports business for a couple of years now. I know agents speak. That's Andrea Berta saying you better bring that release clause down. Like, yeah. we're gonna sign him. We're gonna sign him. But what we're seeing here is beef between Sesko and RB Leipzig. We're seeing beef between Gyökeres and Sporting because they agreed to a release fee that they didn't put in paper. And so now you got the sporting director who promised that to Gyökeres moved over to Man City. He's like, you had 100 goals in 2 years. Y'all gonna have to pay me. And you're seeing the same thing with Benjamin Sesko with, we see Leipzig trying to act like they playing hardball. No, Ornstein said on his podcast this week that Arsenal knows that they need to get rid of him right away because they're trying to bring in a new head coach. They're trying to add more stuff, but they're trying to play hardball on the extra $10 million. What do you think about players and these, hand agreements instead of actually putting it in paper and making both of these guys not only hold up their own contracts, but they really got a couple clubs, waiting?
The biggest thing you learn working in corporate is to always have everything in writing. And it goes for everything in life. So I don't feel sorry for him. Always get everything in writing. I don't care what you're doing. Get that shit in writing. Get it in blood if you can. Get it in blood writing too, because they're going to screw you over, right? Everyone's trying to get the best deal for themselves, So that's why, rest assured, Mino Raiola, who was Pogba's agent and Zlatan's agent, I love Mino because Mino would die for his clients. Mino did not give a damn. Balotelli, Zlatan, Pogba, all the guys that he represented, he doesn't care. Like, he's going to go to war for them. So bad agents can ruin your life in any sport. As we know, we've seen this throughout NFL, NBA, hockey. We've seen bad coaches, bad agents ruin everything. So that's my biggest thing is it's like, y'all should have got it in writing. Like, now these teams are having, back and forth and having issues and whatever. And it's just like, this is what happens when your agent doesn't get things in writing. So for me, I'm happy about the Gyökeres thing because I do not want Gyökeres at Manchester United. I'm sorry. Like, y'all can keep that man in Sporting, wherever he is, keep him far away.
Now, here's a question I wanted to ask you because I was very pro Gyökeres at first. Yeah. But then I really went into my, my real film bag, and I started watching more about Benjamin Sesko, and I was like, I really like this kid more. A lot of teams outside of what we just heard about Man United last 10 days, we ain't really heard no real teams interested. What's your overall opinion on Gyökeres? Like, do you really have doubt that he can translate this to the Premier League?
I definitely have doubts if he can translate to the Premier League. And then also, like, I just don't think he's the best striker in the market. Man United are finally linked to the best striker in the market to me. United finally get linked to Osimhen, which I think is the best striker on the market. Hell, to me, I think the only striker better than him right now is Erling Haaland. I genuinely believe that he's literally the second best striker in the world. So for me, it's just like, I think that Gyökeres is good. I just feel he translates somewhere better in like La Liga or Serie A. I just don't think like Rio Ferdinand said it. Like, Rio Ferdinand is one of the best defenders of his generation, probably the best English defender of his life. Rio said when I watched him in person a couple of times, I was like, Rio basically said he's food. Effectively, Rio said if I was defending against him, I would eat him alive all day. Pause for safety. But Rio was
I saw that segment. He did a real tactical breakdown of how he would defend him.
So the more and more I see him, I hate players who have terrible first touches. I hate players who your instinct is to run on the wing. Like, he's not the striker I like, but he's a talented player, right? I'm not here to disrespect his talent. I'm just saying for me and what I grew up watching in my number 9s, I don't like what I'm seeing from him, point blank period. So that's just where I stand with Gyökeres. Sesko, on the other hand, he's got a lot of talent. He's 22, 23, and he
just turned 22 like last week.
Yeah, and he's used to play basketball growing up, so he's an athlete. So, you know, that's somebody who can mold. Gyökeres is 27 now, so he's kind of stuck in his ways. You got someone who's 22 years old who's malleable, like someone like Mikel Arteta can definitely turn him into something else. So I think for Arsenal, go get Sesko. United, go get Osimhen, and then whoever wants to get Gyökeres, go get him. But please stay away from my club. That's all I say.
You know, it's funny. I've started to think Gyökeres don't land in the Prem. Like, there's been a little bit of Juventus has been interested because I'm not buying none of this. I think that within, I don't want to put a time on it because obviously I don't know. I'm going as I'm learning. I think that Sesko is going to be part of Arsenal by the end of the month, man. But let's close it out with this topic, man. Pep Guardiola, I got my swagger back. He's been reloading, man. They got a new team, man, getting a lot of good signings. They got Ryan Cherokee. They just got him. I saw him in what was it, Europe League?
Europa League against United.
Yeah, no, and against United, but also not what's the game they just played like a week or two ago?
Against Spain, when they played against Spain.
Spain, yeah. And I was like, oh snap, like, you know, it feels like he's rebuilding this team the right way. They just left Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to Napoli. You know, you're going to be getting Erling Haaland back healthy for an entire year. And they've got a couple other signings as well. Liverpool just dropped a bag on Florian Wirtz. Wirtz, how do you pronounce his last name? Wirtz. They just dropped a bag for him. So you're really seeing Liverpool saying, oh, we want to copy that Man City run and take what we just won and just really building the race the last couple of seasons, adding on to it. And Man City saying, okay, we're going to get back in this as well. What do you think about both of these moves? I know to get Arsenal fans sleeping bad at night. What do you think about, you know, how these new rosters look?
I love Ryan Cherokee. I've loved him since he was linked to United when he was 16 years old. I just has always felt like the guy was just a special talent. Like he just always has been. He just had to mature. I think that we were looking at this guy when he was like 18, 19, 20. And it's like, yo, he's a teenager. He's a baby. Like now he's generally become one of the best players in the world in his position. And he's only going to grow. I think that Pep is good with attackers. I don't care what anybody says about Pep not knowing how to do. Pep is one of the best coaches ever. Top 3 coach ever. One of the best to ever do it. So he's got players he can he can mend. Ryan Aït-Nouri is an amazing talent, left back. He might not be the best defender in the world, but that boy is a solid left back. Loved him as well when I was watching him in Ligue 1 at Angers. So again, I'm a sicko who watches Ligue 1, so I've seen a lot of these players. Tijani Range is another person who I love. By the way, he's named after Nigerian player Tijani Babangida. So have a soft spot for him, and it burns because it's like a lot of these City players I like them, and I can't even hate because they're generally making really good signings. It's one of those things I'm just like,
but they go into the ops.
Yeah, and it's like yo, like I'm sorry, I'm looking at their signings, like who they've signed besides the 3, and it's just like, yo, I'm so upset how these players that they signed. I'm just like, these are some really good players. So Rangers is going to be a really good like midfielder for them. They got a backup goalkeeper. Nobody really cares about that. But yeah, Cherokee, Rangers, and Aït-Nouri. Then you still got Omar Mamouche that they signed. They got Kushinov, who they signed in January. So it's like City have like really retooled their squad. They let KDB go. Kyle Walker, who knows where Kyle Walker is going? Probably to hell because nobody really wants him for England or
nobody wants him. Nobody wants that alcoholic Jack Grealish either. They're having a hard time getting him out of there.
Yeah, but City retooled, and we're gonna see how these players look in the Club World Cup with their new team. So as far as Liverpool goes, Florian Wirtz is an amazing signing. I mean, it's a lot of money, but you know, scared money don't make no money. So you know, you got the money, go for it. You know, I have no issues with Liverpool spending the bag. Liverpool notoriously do not spend that much money, so it was good to see them actually like coming out their show. I'm like, okay, fuck it, we want this player, we're gonna get him. So good for them.
And I've always been team is not my money, but I also like when champions spend money. And I feel like, you know, when they, re-sign their cornerstones, and you know, and Salah and Van Dijk, you know, now it's like, let's add to this, you know. Mm-hmm. And I would say this to Arsenal fans who are nervous. And I know I'm saying this as a guy who didn't go through the pains that you guys have been through. But I do think when it comes to the panic level, let's say these two teams, well, outside of Liverpool, but Man City is going to the Club World Cup. Chelsea's going to the Club World Cup. They're trying to shore up some things before they actually play. Let's at least give it some time. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I know I'm talking to a brick wall because from what I know about Arsenal Twitter, they do not care. That's just what I think should happen. But I am excited to see what this tournament is going to be like. I'm honestly tired of watching baseball. I'm not gonna lie. And I love baseball, but I'm at the point of the season where it's like, okay, let's just get to September. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But I'm looking forward to seeing these teams. One last thing.
I was gonna say to Arsenal fans, we're in June, middle of June, June 13th. Do you know when the transfer window ends, Scott?
September 1st.
So shut the fuck up and stop crying. Like that's all I want to say. Like stop crying, man. Like y'all be out.
And we also clearly know why they haven't signed a striker yet. We just talked about the holdup. That's been going on. Like we clearly just brought that up.
It's summertime in America, summertime in England, summertime in most places in the world. Go outside.
Get off the internet.
Go have an April spritz. Go enjoy it. Go touch grass. Go do something productive. Read a book. Do something.
In fact, that I just said earlier, that's why we didn't have a show on Monday. I was dropping my auntie off the train station. I was driving. I'm like, no, I don't feel like recording today. I'm gonna go give me something to eat, give me something to drink, and watch Netflix today. It's Black Men Mental Health. that's what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Go outside.
Protect your peace, man.
Protect your peace. You're gonna have 9 months to worry about this football club. At least give yourself a little bit of rest. Very, very quickly, and this is we joked about this earlier this week. Trent Alexander-Arnold, very fluent in Spanish.
Yeah. So you want me to give you I'm gonna tell everybody what I told Scott. So I'll text Scott and say, I'm gonna give y'all the uncle thing. How like this how I know I've become an uncle. Because the first thing I said was like, why y'all mad? Like the kid had a goal, he had ambitions, and clearly he went to Spain and like he's been practicing and waiting for that move. Was just like, how are you hating on somebody who has a dream and goals? Like I'm never mad at somebody if you have lofty goals because you look crazy until you actually do it. So this is where he wanted to go.
Exactly.
Second of all, though, when I thought about it in the humorous stage, it's like, man, this man was going to bed texting his other girlfriend while his wife was sleeping next to him. That's crazy.
Going to Spanish classes after leaving Anfield, taking
notes like this man was telling her I'm going to be on the way home and he's going to do Spanish lessons, man. This is a Tyler Perry movie.
I just saw that, like, I was like, okay, man, like, I feel you 100%. Like, and the more I've been learning about, just how Real Madrid moves, I'm like, niggas be thirsty to go to Real Madrid, bro. Like,
yeah, like, there's 3 big clubs in football, like massive. It's Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United. Those are the big 3. Like, that's the big 3. Like, I don't care who you support. You can say I'm lying, but it's the truth. Like Real Madrid, they will take whoever they want because that's just what they do. You seen the Figo documentary. Barcelona's just as big as Real Madrid, and United, they rounds out the big 3. It's like everybody else are trying to get to that level, but you just can't get to that level. Like United finished 15th last year, and they still had basically the most views of any team in the Premier League. That's nuts.
Yeah, and it's like same thing with like Madrid is the biggest, club probably out there, and Florentino Perez is like a more evil Jerry Jones if Jerry Jones was good at his job.
He's basically what Jerry Jones should be, but Jerry Jones just, it's too much.
Jerry Jones still thinks it's 1993.
Jerry Jones still thinks it's 1951.
Yes, exactly. And he thinks it's 1993 on his team. Like Troy Aikman is not coming through that door. We were talking about documentaries earlier, and I said if you wanted good America propaganda, watch American Manhunt or Osama bin Laden. But if you want good cowboy propaganda, go watch that new documentary that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. That little Cowboys Last Dance. I know that's going to be full of Jerry propaganda.
Woo, boy.
Go ahead and watch that, man. But Toaster, man, always good to holler at you. Like I said, Toaster's going to be my first guest on the Scott Lewis Show that you can check out on my new YouTube page, man. I'm going to be doing a lot of bonus content that's outside of the I'm not going to hold you 79th and Hallis realm. And as you can see here on the screen, if you are watching this on YouTube, you can take your phone up to the QR code, scan it, and it'll take you right to my new channel. If you are watching this in the replay or listen to this, I'm going to put the link in the description box. Me and Toast are going to break down transfer windows and how it compares. I've been learning a lot of stuff about that as well, man. So, Toast, man, anything you want to promote? I know y'all dropped some bangers on us last week. I think y'all had like 3 pods in like 10 days, man. What's going on?
We had the Arsenal season review, so that's on our YouTube right now. We're taking a mini break for now because, listen, we've been doing a lot this season, so sometimes we just need to rest and recover. But Club World Cup, I got a few things I'm thinking about. We'll get y'all some content because, you know, football doesn't stop, so clearly we shouldn't stop. So, you know, follow Shirtless Plantain Show everywhere. We're in TikTok, IG. We're not on Facebook because we are not old. We are old.
Not even though this show is streaming on Facebook. Shout out to Facebook.
Shout out to Facebook.
That's the only way that I'll be active on that app. But anyway, but Tulsa, man, we gonna holler at you, brother. I'm looking forward to having you on the show next week.
Appreciate it as always, man. Be easy.
Yes, sir. Catch I'm Not Gonna Hold You, hosted by Scott Lewis, every Monday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, only on HNB Media and the Barber's Chair Network.